Do you suppose the licensed Saudi cleric was corrupting Islam too? Sorry, it's Allah who commands Muslims not to befriend Christians and Jews, for he wants them killed so he can use their bodies to stoke hell's fires.
Quran 5:51. O believers, do not hold Jews and Christians as your allies. They are allies of one another, and anyone who makes them his friend becomes one of them. Quran 2:10. As for those who deny Islam, they will be faggots for the fires of hell.
Islam's God is a spirit of an entirely different color.
Ibn Ishaq in the Sirah. Allah said, a prophet must slaughter before collecting captives. A slaughtered enemy is driven from the land. Muhammad, you crave the desires of this world, its goods and the ransom slaves would bring. But Allah desires killing them to manifest the religion.
The Saudi Imam has correctly interpreted Islam's message.
From Bukhari. The Prophet had their men killed, their children and women taken captive. Quran 33:26. Allah made the Jews leave their homes by terrorizing them, so that you killed some and made many captive. And he made you inherit their lands, their homes, and their wealth, and he gave you a country that you had not traversed before.
The Islamic warlords who ruled Saudi Arabia were enthroned by the British by way of reward. The Brits bribed them to fight against their Muslim brethren, the Ottoman Turks, in World War I. Today, the Saudi dictators thank the West by manufacturing the terrorists who kill us. It's hardly a coincidence that 80% of the 9/11 suicide bombers were trained in the kingdom that gave birth to Islam. Yet the Fahd princes meet with our president and protest incessantly to our media, professing that they and their religion are peace-loving. They are incensed when people blame them for the terror that they have inspired. Forget for a moment that Muslim militancy is funded by the black ooze that flows from their sand. It's what they teach that is so devastating. 80% of the mosques in America and the West were built and are staffed by the Fahd warlords. They also provide their terrorist manufacturing facilities with their reading material. Their official Quran for the English-speaking market bears the stamp of the Fahd Foundation. In it, right below Surah 2, verse 190, the Quran's first mention of jihad, you'll find this passage.
Jihad is holy fighting in Allah's cause, with full force of numbers and weaponry. It is given the utmost importance in Islam and is one of its pillars. By jihad, Islam is established. Allah's word is made superior, which means only Allah has the right to be worshipped. And Islam is propagated. By abandoning jihad, Islam is destroyed and Muslims fall into an inferior position. Their honor is lost, their lands are stolen, their rule and authority vanish. Jihad is an obligatory duty in Islam on every Muslim. He who tries to escape from this duty dies with one of the qualities of a hypocrite.
There is nothing peaceful about Islam. Muhammad's dogma breeds ruthless killers. At his direction, Muslims will continue to terrorize the world until there are no more non-Muslims. So that you might know what Islam does to men, I have organized 2,000 Islamic scriptures by topic in the Muhammad's Own Words appendix. Here are some excerpts from the Fighting Terror, War, and Jihad sections.
Ibn Ishaq. Allah and Muhammad humiliated every coward and made our religion victorious. We were glorified and destroyed them all. By what our apostle recites from the book, and by our swift horses, I liked the punishment the infidels received. Killing them was sweeter than drink. We galloped among them, panting for the spoil. With our loud-voiced army, the apostles' squadron advanced into the fray. From Tabari. Arabs were the first to respond to the call of the prophet. We were Allah's helpers and the viziers of his messenger. We fight people until they believe in Allah. He who believes in Allah and his messenger has protected his life and possessions from us. As for the one who disobeys, we will fight him forever in the cause of Allah. Killing him is a small matter to us. From Muslim. The Prophet said at the conquest of Mecca, there is no migration now, but only jihad, fighting for the cause of Islam. When you are asked to set out on a jihad expedition, you should readily do so. Quran 61:4. Surely Allah loves those who fight in his cause. Ishaq. I am fighting in Allah's service. It is piety and a good deed. In Allah's war I do not fear as others should, for fighting is righteous, good, and true. Bukhari. A man whose face was covered with an iron mask came to the Prophet and said, Allah's apostle, shall I fight or embrace Islam first? The Prophet said, embrace Islam first and then fight. So he embraced Islam and was martyred. Allah's apostle said, a little work, but a great reward. Also from Bukhari. Our Prophet, the messenger of our Lord, ordered us to fight you until you worship Allah alone or pay us the jizya tribute tax in submission. Our Prophet has informed us that our Lord says, whoever amongst us is killed as a martyr shall go to paradise to live such a luxurious life as has never been seen before, and whoever survives shall become your master. Quran 47:4. When you clash with the unbelieving infidels in battle, fighting jihad in Allah's cause, smite their necks until you overpower them, killing and wounding many of them. At length, when you have thoroughly subdued them, bind them firmly, making them captives. Thereafter, either generosity or ransom, them based upon the benefits to Islam, until the war lays down its burdens. Thus you are commanded by Allah to continue carrying out jihad against the unbelieving infidels until they submit to Islam. Ishaq. It was so criminal. Men could hardly imagine it. Muhammad was ennobled because of the bloody fighting. I swear we shall never lack for soldiers nor army leaders, driving before us infidels until we subdue them with a halter above their noses and a branding iron. We will drive them to the ends of the earth. We will pursue them on horse and on foot. We will never deviate from fighting in our cause. Any people that disobey Muhammad will pay for it. If you do not surrender to Islam, you will live to regret it. You will be shamed in hell, forced to wear a garment of molten pitch forever. Ishaq. When Allah gave permission to his apostle to fight, the second Aqaba contained conditions involving war, which were not in the first act of submission. Now we bound ourselves to wage war against all mankind for Allah and his apostle. He promised us a reward in paradise for faithful service. We pledged ourselves to war in complete obedience to Muhammad, no matter how evil the circumstances.
Equipped with this information, you may form some important conclusions. Islamic politicos and clerics are purposely deceiving us. The truth isn't hidden, nor is it hard to find. Our media is clueless, willfully ignorant, and the cost is high. Good Muslims will continue to wage jihad until we stop them by eliminating their means and motivation. If we don't, they will kill us. As with the Nazis rolling into Poland following the peace process in the 1930s Europe, the perpetrators of Islamic terror are inflamed by a violent, racist doctrine. They too have an agenda, and we are ignorant of it. If we had responded then as we do today, we'd be living on sushi and sauerkraut.